Good afternoon, everyone. Today is Wednesday, January 21st. This is going to be a quick trade recap of a trade I took today in today's AM session. So let's get right into it. My primary trading session is 10 a.m. to 11:30 a.m. Eastern Time. So before that session starts, what I do is I try and put together a directional bias to try and frame out which direction's going to be the highest probability, either longs or shorts. So first thing I do is look at our Asian range standard deviation chart, and between 9:30 and 10, we could see that we were past our first standard deviation. So it was fair to assume that price may be heading to this second standard deviation. So on this chart, it is a long bias. And then looking at our previous week levels, previous week low, previous week high, and 50%, between 9:30 and 10, we could see that we were having this expansion up after sweeping previous lows. So it was fair to assume that price may be heading towards these previous highs, which is also around the previous week lows level. So on this chart as well, it is a long bias. So what that's telling me on these smaller time frames is a long setup is going to be the highest probability rather than a short setup. So first thing I do is I wait for a 2-minute candle close above the key level. So here's previous cycle high, which is the highest price between our previous time cycle, and down here is previous cycle low. So these are the two main key levels. So first thing I do, wait for a candle close above the key level and then a retest for the entry. So here at 10:18 was my entry. And with this strategy, we know that 27 points is generally a safe stop loss. So meaning if we enter at the key level and it draws down more than 27 points, then more than likely, based on data, it's going to continue to go down rather than go in our anticipated direction. So I did come close to getting stopped out in this trade, but luckily I didn't. So we got our entry on this candle, and standard deviations is what I mainly target because it gives us very accurate take profit levels. So let me place them. So there's our standard deviation levels. So my first trim was a few points below the standard deviation level to make sure that order gets filled. So this was first trim, and then my second trim was this second standard deviation on the Asian range chart, and that was around the 450 level. So somewhere in this area here is where I took profit. I believe I did 450 exactly, since that's a nice whole number. And then I think I had 2 runners left. And once I seen we were just consolidating here, I was comfortable exiting the whole position on the next level. So once I seen we were consolidating and this second standard deviation was the final target, I just placed my final exit at these previous highs, since it was also a few points below the second standard deviation. So first trim, second trim around 450, and then my third trim was at these previous highs here. And then as we can see, we did reject at the second standard deviation pretty good. And then as we can see, we just ended up coming right back down. So very good trade today. If you guys want to be a part of this, you can click the link in the bio and go ahead and join Peakvest Society. We do live trading Monday through Friday. But that's it for this one. I hope you guys have a good rest of your week, and I will catch you in the next one.